very lovely sculpt. He has a little feature where his hands are actually magnetic. So if you have keys or little screws that you want to put up there, he will actually hold them without any effort.
I've always been a fan of Wolverine. Wolverine is the reason I am a fan of X-Men. It doesn't take away the fact that I don't love Sweet. Brilliant. Not the Australian one. No. Then you look at the vintage 90s playing cards box, but this Fleer Ultra X-Men trading cards. Joseph has nearly all of the cards.
Hi everyone, Tim Pocock here, also known as Scott Summers from X-Men Origins Wolverine. You're watching Son of Jeddah. I want to wish you all a very happy X-Men Day. I hope you have a blast. An optic blast. Peace.
Hello everyone and welcome to X-Men Day Gathering in Jeddah. I'm joined today by Ideas X, his son Ahmed, and for the very first time, Joseph Goreshi, a die-hard X-Men fan, and then our star of the show, Son of Sparta, who's going to be doing the unboxing for these two Hot Toys special editions for Wolverine and X-23. So stay tuned. First off, we're going to start out with the showcasing, then the unboxing, and then all of us are going to be having a short discussion about why we love the X-Men to this day. Okay, so we're starting with the showcasing. We want to show you guys what's already out of the box. So first up, Son of Sparta, can you let us know, are these Sideshow collectibles or Hot Toys? Which ones are these?
So Cyclops over here is by Sideshow Collectibles. They do make their own figurines for those who may not be aware. And this guy over here, the Master of Magnetism, is made by Hot Toys, Pono Studios. Very lovely sculpt. He has a little feature where his hands are actually magnetic. So if you have keys or little screws that you want to put up there, he will actually hold them without any effort. And he also has a wired cape.
So we can give a pose to the cape itself.
Yep. I like to do the classic thing where the cape is upward over his shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did not come that way out of the box. I had to do that myself.
Okay. And these two are going to be unboxed today for the community. One is the brown and tan costume, Hugh Jackman, based on the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, where we saw Hugh Jackman sporting this costume briefly when he was facing off the Hulk in a different timeline. And then, of course, Wolverine's genetically cloned daughter figure X-23. But before we go into that, we just want to finish the showcasing right now. Joseph Goreshi, one of the oldest members of our community, was kind enough to bring us all the vintage X-Men collection, whether it is related to comics. This is his personal collection. So you're looking at these playing cards. And then this is an entire album that has memorabilia from the X-Men movies. And he even has Spider-Man, but right now we're going to focus on X-Men since it's X-Men Day. Then you look at the vintage 90s playing cards box, but this Fleer Ultra X-Men trading cards. Joseph has nearly all of the cards. Correct me if I'm wrong.
As many as I have.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. So Joseph over here has Fleer Ultra cards, not only for the X-Men, but also for the Marvel Universe. So as you can see, we have Gambit, Archangel, then we have Morbius and Captain America as well. So Joseph is going to be talking about his collection. Then Son of Sparta was kind enough to get us an autograph from Thaldad. Actually voices Wolverine in X-Men, the original animated series, as well as X-Men 97. So you can see for yourself, the signature is there. Okay. And that's the beautiful premium format figure. Yep. Is this Hot Toys or Sideshow?
This is Hot Toys. So Hot Toys, I do have the Sideshow, but it eventually wore out a little bit, and then came along Hot Toys, and they decided we're going to improve on that a little bit. So he has seamless arms right there, very nice for collectors who don't want to worry about their joints showing. And then we have Gambit here by Sideshow. Very nice sculpt, comes with a lot of accessories, comes with two distinct hairstyles. This realistic downwards hairstyle, and then he has the classic upwards hairstyle, which I did not opt for using today.
Okay, and then these are some of the items from my personal collection. This is Origin of Wolverine. Also, this was signed by Andy Kubert and Paul Jenkins. It comes with the certificate of authenticity. This is like my first ever X-Men crossover event that I got, but this is the first ever X-Men comic that my mom and dad bought me back in 1986 or 87. This is Kinney X-Men 212. Then the classic Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, X-Men #1 from 1991, the most sold comic in the history of the industry. And then at the back, you have some of my action figures from the old Toy Biz series. You have the X-Men VHS, the X-Men trading cards, Series 2 trading cards, the Adamantium collection, which was gifted to me by William Ruffin, and then an X-Force that's signed by Rob Liefeld, Age of Apocalypse, Alpha and Omega. Okay. And then at the bottom, there's an entire stack of Fatal Attractions, which is the X-Men 30th anniversary special crossover event. So this is what it is. Right now, we're going to start out with Joseph. Joseph is going to showcase us his most prized possessions, namely the trading cards that he has collected for Marvel Universe and X-Men. And in his cover, this album cover in itself is really vintage. Anyone who grew up in Jeddah, no, we need to show this album cover also. This was widely available in photo studios. And he has this hologram card of Wolverine from Wolverine 75 that was illustrated by 1992. And it was illustrated by Adam Kubert, Andy Kubert's elder brother. Joseph, you just keep on showcasing the stuff that you have.
Well, when I was 11, and after playing X-Men Arcade Tsunami, somehow I finally became a hardcore comic book, especially Marvel, especially X-Men after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. And okay, I'll fast forward. When I moved back to Riyadh, I've gathered many Marvel, many superhero franchise icons because I don't want to lose my childhood. I don't want to lose my American culture,
Right.
because I needed to discover my creativity so that I can gather more collections, so that I can buy more memorabilia the next time I travel.
Amazing,
And no
man.
matter how old I am, I'm still a hardcore fan. I'm not letting go of my childhood.
None of us are, brother. None of us are. That's why we are here. Beautiful cards, man. Just look at those cards from the Fleer Ultra series of X-Men. Man, this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
And
Beautiful cards.
important announcement,
Yeah.
those of you who didn't play Cosmic Invasion, I ordered the one not only for Switch, but also deluxe edition that comes with poster, trading cards of some sort.
So
I'm expecting it coming from Asia in a matter of days.
So he's still collecting trading cards. Okay, even if they are coming with our favorite games, just look at. I mean, I love this cable trading card. I really, really had been looking forward to it. This is one beautiful Fleer Ultra card. And look at Jean Grey, look at Gambit, look at the OG Cyclops. Man, you just can't have enough of this. This is like the best era when it comes to the X-Men.
That's
When-
nostalgia. I can never give up.
By the way, do you agree if we say that like the best X-Men era in terms of comics is the 1980s because of Chris Claremont? But when you're talking about like other things such as the video game, the trading cards, the comics, the crossovers, the 90s was really explosive.
Well, that's how I became a fan from that era,
From the 90s or from the 80s?
90s.
Awesome. Man, okay, tell us which of your cards is the most special or priceless or rare for
Oh,
the
man, now
community
that's
when it
really
comes to
difficult.
the X-Men.
Anything to do with the gold team and blue team uniforms.
You have those?
I have actually I have so many more at home, and as well as the books itself.
Awesome. Awesome.
I just have to redesign my chamber to make a new collection. Actually, I'm going to have a very difficult task: create every comic book crossovers into a cosplay.
Man, we wish you all the best in that, and we will be ready to do a vlog about your entire setup that you do for your X-Men collection from the 90s. Okay, now without taking much of everyone's time, we're going to be proceeding with the unboxing of the Hot Toys Hugh Jackman Wolverine and X-23 Daphne Keene.
With our X-Men Day, I'm going to be opening up our first unboxing. We got X-23. What's her name? Laura, I believe.
Laura Kinney.
Laura Keene, played by Daphne Keene.
Daphne Keene, you're right.
Who maybe possibly might be seeing in person a little later this year.
You're planning on going to a Comic-Con?
I'm planning on haven't booked anything yet. So
Okay.
we'll see if anything comes about. Gorgeous box here. Look at that reflective cover. Nothing going on in the back, but if we take the slip cover off, we got the entire figurine, the accessories, everything's showing down here. So let's start doing some unboxing. We're going to take her out. Oh, we got this logo in the back. Not big, but
From Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Might be worth mentioning that not every figure in this line has been released yet. I'm yet to receive Nice Pool and Chris Evans Human.
You had to buy a nice pool, huh?
Yep, it's on the way. So here we go. Get some stuff out of the way. There we go. Lovely portrait. Gonna take a while to get all this plastic out, but we're gonna take care of that. There you go.
Get it going.
And then I feel like something we need to give her is her signature glasses that she wore in Logan.
Yeah.
Trying not to. I'm told these snap very easily, so I'm trying to be very careful.
Just take your time, bro. No need to rush.
No, I can't get her them on us. So we'll just enjoy it as is.
Do we need to change the head sculpt in order to put on the glasses?
Not the head sculpt, but guess what? She comes with, and this is very rare, a different hairstyle.
Maybe, okay, that's the reason.
So I think this is the one. Can we try it? Oh, you know what? I have a better clearing right now. Please don't snap.
Okay. Yeah, I think you did a pretty good job.
Oh, no. Almost had it. Hang on. There we go. And we're going to put the other hair on there. There we go.
So we have the signature glasses.
Should I give her a claw?
Yes, please. Everybody wants to see that. Guys, just focus on the attention to detail on
So-
every action figure, as I say each and every time whenever Son of Sparta is unboxing.
Another added detail, and this is probably going to take a while, but these claws go on her feet.
Oh, yes. Yes.
In perfect comic book fashion. But she has seamless arms. You cannot see her joints; they're underneath the body.
But they can be articulated, right?
Oh yes, yeah. This is fully articulated. Arms, her wrists, her head, everything's articulated. Head might be a little limited just because of the hair is sculpted, but otherwise everything's articulated.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Is there any other accessory that you want to like show to the community that's like really
Oh, she has her backpack, but also, does anyone know what this is?
juggernauts?
Juggernaut's helmet. Very good. So she carries this around. She risks her life to get this to our heroes just because this is what saves them for a while. They put this over, what's her name? The villain of the movie.
Cassandra Nova,
Sandra, no, they put this over her head to protect them from her power.
Xavier's estranged sister. Okay.
She also comes with, probably won't take it out of the box, but she comes with a base that has some fire effects on it. It's just a rock base.
And there's a backpack also.
Yep.
Okay. Nice.
The backpack is primarily what Juggernaut's helmet is. So we'll put all this stuff aside for now, and we'll look towards our second unboxing.
Yeah. The brown and tan Hugh Jackman Wolverine costume.
So very glossy, lovely box with some artwork. If you see this little sticker right here, is it on this side? Yep. So this is a Sideshow exclusive. You will not find this with any other retailer. Sideshow has a couple of, they are the official distributor of Hot Toys in the US and for other parts of the world. So they are the only website where you can find figurines like these. So again, this is a brown suit, Hugh Jackman. If you take it off, slipcover.
There it is, boys.
Got the figurine in here.
The suit inspired by John Byrne's suit from the 1980s.
Yep. And it's got some unique artwork on the side here, some Deadpool artwork.
Yeah.
And we got another logo again and the figurine. One more
Beautiful.
artwork.
Beautiful.
So get them out here. Shout out to our audience members out here.
Thank you. I mean, I'm really glad that they made it, especially Ideas X, Joseph and Ahmed really were. It's really awesome. Thank you guys.
I want to mention that this guy comes with a very special accessory. So first of all, we have the suit looking very brown, very authentic to source material. But also something I'm going to show off in just a minute. He does have an angry face and he does have a head sculpt.
The Hugh Jackman head sculpt.
Hugh Jackman head sculpt. Slightly different from the one we reviewed earlier. Different expression. I believe also with movable eyes.
Yeah. But it looks beautiful, man.
Yep.
The figure is amazing.
But also, one accessory I'm very excited about. Well, he also comes with a angry face.
Nice.
So you can install this in the bottom half of his face.
Nice.
But also, one thing I'm very excited about, and this comes with no other Wolverine figure, is these claws with reflective Hulk.
Oh, they have the Hulk reflection. Man, you can see it from a distance.
So if you want to pose him like that, looking angry, like he's about to start the fight, this is a very cool accessory to have, exclusive only with this figure.
An homage to Todd McFarlane cover.
Yeah, so maybe we should get that on here.
Oh, it's just wow.
I feel like they wanted to capture that moment in the movie perfectly, and they managed to do that. This hand people
Yeah, definitely.
to complete the look.
They make it really easy for you to customize the figures.
There we go. Very easy. Comes in and out. I spoke too soon. Oh, there we go.
Come on, man. It's Hot Toys.
So there we go. Almost completely like the comics and the movie where he does the pose. Is it showing?
Guys, you saw it here. The X-Men Day fan gathering, the unboxing of this really exclusive sideshow collectible Hot Toys brown and tan Hugh Jackman action figure straight from the movie. An homage to John Byrne for his brown and tan suit, the Todd McFarlane cover with the Hulk being seen in the reflection on the claws. Son of Sparta, we can't thank you enough.
Thank you guys, because otherwise I would still have these in storage.
Now, next up, it's going to be our discussion where we're going to be talking about our love for the X-Men, because we have a very special company right now, and this is going to be something really exciting. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, we've reached the last segment of our X-Men Day gathering, which is going to be a discussion about our love for the Marvel's team of mutants. Some of us became fans of X-Men in the 80s. Some of us became fans of X-Men in the 90s. And we even have the young generation that became fans of the X-Men in 2000s. And what an extreme pleasure it is for us that on X-Men Day fan gathering, we are joined by one really important member who loves X-Men to the core, Joseph Goreshi. Joseph, it means a lot, man, that you took out the time, you came, you joined us, you brought your amazing memorabilia. We just can't thank you enough, man.
For now, it's a small I can bring.
Man, this is a collection of yours. Imagine, in fact, we all can't imagine what your actual collection is going to be like. Ideas X, thank you so much for coming in today. Ahmed, last time you did an amazing discussion when it came to Superman. And as always, I'm really grateful to Son of Sparta because he did this amazing unboxing and he brought out his amazing, very exclusive premium format action figures. So guys, X-Men Day is being celebrated since 2019, but this is like the first year where Marvel actually did a post about it. It made me realize that I think besides celebrating Superman Day, Batman Day, we should do an X-Men Day. So what do you guys think about it? Joseph, I'm going to ask you first.
Simple. If there's ever going to be another X-Men Day, not only more on a bigger venue, but also we're going to need a group of cosplayers.
Joseph, by the way, was doing Magneto cosplay in Stanley SuperCon back in 2022.
Was customized by myself, and it's not exactly perfected when it comes to making.
Joseph, what got you into X-Men?
For X-Men, I was following my brother's footsteps. Before me and my brother got into comics, it was the 1992 arcade.
And where were you playing this arcade game? Was it in the US
It was
or
back during summer trip in US.
Awesome. By the way, this arcade game is now available as part of Marvel Maximum Collection, and it's a multiplayer co-op game. Last week, me and Son of Sparta played, and we finished the entire game together. So that was good. Ideas X. What's that moment in your life that got you into the X-Men?
I would say the X-Men movies. I got introduced to X-Men universe through the movies itself. I'm not a big comic guy or the animation series of X-Men, but the movies are the thing that got me hooked to the X-Men universe.
And which movie should I ask was that blew you away? Was it the first one or was it X2? Which one?
It was the first one. The animation, the effects in the movie, the how it was executed was really good.
And I'm sure you have a different path to the X Mansion compared to your dad. How did you get into the X-Men lore?
I just saw him watching it, so I just watched it with him.
Okay, and so you got introduced to the X-Men through the first X-Men movie.
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, Son of Sparta, the man who has been bringing us all these premium format action figures, who has an extensive collection of X-Men along with other characters both from Marvel and DC. What got you into the X-Men?
Well, oh my gosh. So before we get into that, I feel like we have to give credit where credit is due. Actor Tim Pocock, who played Cyclops in X-Men Origins Wolverine, gave us a nice little introduction to the video. So kudos to him for doing that.
On behalf of all the X-Men fans, we are really grateful to you for sharing your message with our community.
So guys, I feel like we need to talk about, first of all, how Stanley came up with these characters. He said that he was pressured to come up with new characters. And he said, what if they're just born with this way?
Yeah.
But with that, uh, a couple of themes, right? The theme of exclusion and I feel like also inclusion. These are characters who a lot of us knew them through the comics, through the cartoons, but a very strong introduction. That beginning scene from the first X-Men movie, Bryan Singer, where the internment camp during the Holocaust, where Magneto is being taken away from his parents, and all of a sudden his powers manifest.
Yeah.
And it shows you how some people just, as they're being taken away from certain communities, they just want to be, just want to exist in that community. And people are fighting that. People say, you don't belong to this community. We don't want you here. You can live on in your own campus, your own community. We don't want you to be a part of ours. So it is a part. It's not just good and evil. That's a big part of it, but it's also part of Xavier wanting to coexist with humanity versus Magneto, who wants to have the mutants take over and seeing
Because
himself,
they are the superior race.
thinks they are the superior race. Exactly. Thank you. So there are a lot of themes packed into the X-Men again.
But before we get into that, I think we couldn't get to know how did you get into the X.
So I did read a little bit of comics back in the 90s. I feel like for a lot of us, it was the animated series. This right here, if you can take a look at it. So for a lot of us, it was the animated series. Went on for, I believe, 5 seasons. Is that right? I think
4 or 5
4 or
seasons.
5 seasons. And it was so popular that Disney Plus was kind enough to say, let's bring it back. So they brought back an animated series called X-Men 97 to continue where the original series left off. Better animation. They brought back some of the original cast. So we are hooked, and they're coming back next month. So if you've watched it, rewatch it, get ready for the second season. So that's how I got into it.
I think I'm the oldest amongst you because I got into the X-Men back in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
And because it's X-Men Day, I made sure that I would bring my first ever X-Men comic book.
Since we're going back to the 80s, I think there was something before that. There was an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yes.
Where I believe, not Spider himself.
We had an Australian Wolverine.
Yes.
I hated that.
Firestar and Iceman are invited to the X-Men mansion for a reunion.
Yeah.
And Juggernaut crashes the party.
Exactly.
But I believe there was another one where Spider-Man joined, and they go into. There was some stuff that happened.
Yeah.
They get trapped in the danger room. I believe
something like that. Yep. Yeah.
But those 2 episodes, I think, were the very first. If we're going back to the 80s, for me, is how my introduction was to the X-Men.
Okay, so this was the comic book that got me really into the X-Men because when I was reading Marvel comics back in the 80s, I would come across Marvel ads and they would be this cool guy with the claws and everything. But the first person who got me into Wolverine was a dear friend of mine. I hope he's watching this. His name is Naveed. He had a poster of Marvel superheroes. I think it was the Secret Wars poster, the 1984 Secret Wars. And in it, you see Wolverine, lunging towards the camera, if I can say that. And that was the moment I said, man, this guy is just amazing. Now, at that time, I didn't know that X-Men and Wolverine are 2 different entities. So I would call Wolverine X-Men. Because I never understood why they are saying X-Men when there is only one guy. So 86, that's how I got into the X-Men comic. Now, looking back, as Son of Sparta has mentioned, that they are going to be introducing a lot of mutant teams that are going to be coming in. They gave a glimpse of X-Force. They gave a glimpse of X-Factor from the 90s. Are you guys as excited for season 2 of X-Men 96?
I'd say my answer is most definite. Or should I say exciting?
Exciting with an X. So, Ahmed, did you get a chance to look into what's going to happen in season 2 of X-Men 97 animated series?
I'm just hearing the news in online, and I gotta say, it kind of looks good.
What's the part that really gets you excited about the season 2?
Well, like the last episode of season one, they spoiler alert, they were some other place, and I'm excited to see what's gonna happen to them.
Okay. Son of Sparta.
Very excited, especially since we lost a very core member of the X-Men. We're hoping he's going to make a comeback. For those who know, but we got a tease. There are a lot of redesigns because they by the end of the season they all ended up in different places in time. They were separated, so hopefully they'll get to find each other and find their way back to their own timeline.
Ideas X, you got into the X-Men because of the movies.
Yes.
Now, like Ahmed, I'm sure you've watched the X-Men 97 season 1 as well.
Yes, I did.
Give us your take.
I think it is. I'm excited about the season 2. Like Son of Sparta just mentioned, the concept of different timeline, different spaces, and assembling the core team together. I'm looking forward to that.
You're looking forward to that. Okay. Everybody, who was your favorite X-Men member when you became a fan for the first time?
Before,
I mean, you came across X-Men. Okay. Who was your first favorite X-Men member?
uh, I guess I would say Wolverine or Deadpool.
Joseph.
Oh, that's the hardest part. So forgive me, rest of the X-Men. I'm going to go with Kurt Wagner, known as the Circus Nightcrawler. Not because of the color, but also, actually, I always wanted to be a teleporter. So I could be in places by place without driving,
Without visa.
but with legal purpose.
Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, one of my favorites. Okay, and Son of Sparta.
You took mine. I was going to say Nightcrawler, but I will just say he had an amazing scene at the end of X-Men 97 where he was dueling 3 swords, 2 in his hands and then 1 with his tail. And he had an amazing opening to X character.
Yes, yes.
But I would also, if I could add characters who don't get enough spotlight, I would say Colossus, even though he's featured a lot in Deadpool, in the Deadpool movies, but I feel like we don't get enough of him, the core character of who he is and what he stands for and whatnot. I hope we get a little more of him in the series.
Ideas X.
So there are 3 votes now for Nightcrawler because for me as well, that was the most unique character with the superpowers which I would love to have. What about you?
Isn't it obvious? I've always been a fan of Wolverine. Wolverine is the reason I am a fan of X-Men. It doesn't take away the fact that I don't love
Which
Storm.
Wolverine?
Not the Australian one. No. Logan, aka James Howlett. He's the reason I remain a huge X-Men fan. I still read the old X-Men crossovers, the stories. I still have them. In fact, if you ask me which team or character comics I have the most, it's the X-Men and Wolverine. Then come the rest.
A picture for our audience later on. Recently, as you guys know, I collect Hot Toys.
Yeah.
They recently announced a Wolverine Origins figure where it's just him on the with the helmet.
Weapon X one?
Weapon X.
Yes.
With the seamless body and all these cables coming out of him. It looks ridiculously amazing. Hopefully I'm going to get that soon when it comes out.
Awesome. Before we wrap up the discussion, the X-Men are now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We are hearing some news that Wolverine is not going to be part of the reboot of the X-Men. This is besides the fact that Wolverine
was not one of the founding members until Giant Size number 1. So that's logical reason to start with the original OG, original 5.
original 5.
If that's going to happen.
I think your point carries a lot of weight because that's the only explanation that one can come up with. Because at present, what we know is, correct me if I'm wrong, that Hugh Jackman Wolverine is going to be making an appearance in Doomsday or Secret Wars.
They haven't confirmed.
Not confirmed yet.
No, I hope so because it's something he's always wanted. There's an interview somewhere out there over a decade old that he has wanted. He said, "I don't see how they can't combine all these characters together, and I would love to come back to be alongside the Avengers."
And he has to be, because the 1984 Marvel superheroes Secret Wars, Wolverine was part of the equation, an important part of the equation alongside the other members. What's your take on the reboot that they are going to be doing for the X-Men and Marvel Cinematic Universe ideas?
I'm actually afraid that the Avengers team is going to overshadow the presence of X-Men in the movie itself.
Mhm.
Uh, and apart from that, getting characters together for such a big movie, if you look at it, the actors, they want their part or their roles to be meaningful. And when it comes to actors like Hugh Jackman, who is a big star, he would like to have a meaty role and to give him a screen time and make it also the equation between the Avengers who are the OG of the Avengers series. It is very complicated. I don't know how Marvel is going to pull it off, but
You're not too optimistic.
No,
You're
I'm not.
cautious.
I'm not too optimistic of how the X-Men is going to have a big impact on the movie itself.
So I'm just gonna hope, and I feel like this is coming, that Cyclops doesn't again get side shadowed.
Oh yes,
Just because he was side shadowed in the first movie, he was brainwashed in the second movie,
Yeah.
and he was killed at the beginning of the third movie.
Yeah.
So I believe the only way they brought back James Smart is because they promised him they're going to make it up to him, to his character.
He deserves it.
He does. And he was front and center in the trailer, in the teaser trailer. And I feel like they're finally going to give Cyclops his due. He's going to go out there. He's going to give some kind of catchphrase, whether it's "to me, my X-Men" or something. He's going to lead the X-Men in this movie.
Amazing. Joseph, what's your take on the reboot?
I'm not sure if that article says it's true. Instead of A-listers, like the first movie, I agree they should go with B-listers because it's time for a new generation of Hollywood actors.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, new generation of Hollywood actors, but what about the characters? I mean, you're okay with the original five.
I would say we start with the original in the first movie, then there'll be new characters as a giant size in the sequel.
Whatever has been announced, because the X-Men are now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Before they weren't. Are you hopeful, excited, cautiously optimistic, afraid like your dad that they might not be doing a good job when it comes to rebooting the X-Men and making them part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
After Secret Wars,
Before Secret Wars, after Secret Wars?
well, I would say let's see how it goes. I agree with what he says. Might be good or it might be bad. Let's just see how it goes. Like trust in Marvel.
So like your dad, you're cautiously optimistic.
It might be worth mentioning, Patrick Stewart had mentioned that this is not only his last time playing Charles Xavier, it's his last time acting as well in this movie.
I felt really sad when I heard that. But then again, age takes its toll and everybody has to retire one day.
I got a picture with him, by the way.
Yeah. You didn't bring it here?
Well, it's a picture with the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he's in there. So I forgot that he's also. We'll bring it next time.
Another historic moment.
Or I'll take a picture and send it.
Please do. Please do. And with that, our gathering of X-Men fans comes to an end. Please be reminded that we are going to be celebrating for the very first time Spider-Man Day, hopefully on 1st of August or first week of August. We're going to be seeing how we are going to manage, because on 31st of July, Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be released. And then later on, we're going to go for the Batman Day fan gathering. Thank you, Ideas X. Thank you, Son of Sparta. Thank you, Joseph Goreshi. Thank you, Ahmed. All of you really made this evening, made this gathering special. Thank you for taking out the time, bringing your collectibles. But really, man, I mean, we are simply blown away by the collectibles that you have, whether we are talking about the live action adaptation of the X-Men, whether we are talking about the comics and the trading cards that came along with it. You came in, man, it means the world to us because I personally know how huge of an X-Men fan you are. And to each and every one of you, thank you. Thank you guys for taking out the time, for joining us, for making this evening possible. See you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
If anyone wants to fund my trip to go meet Daphne Keene, that'd be awesome.